Hey everybody, we are here with Lulu this morning. Lulu is a Shih Tzu. We are currently outside working on some healing with her. I wanted to just go over a couple quick things with you. Um, Healing with her is going to be important. We want to make sure that we give her some mental stimulation on a daily basis so that she's able to relax and lay down in her crate the times that you need her to be calm, and this is going to help with her separation anxiety. Giving her some mental stimulation is going to make her a lot more tired than just giving your dog physical exercise. Lulu, good girl. So just doing simple things like making sure Lulu pays attention to you is giving her mental stimulation. So when you take a walk, if you just go in a straight line, what's going to happen is she's going to get really bored really quick and following you. So this is basically like you're playing a game of follow the leader. If she gets ahead of you, she's officially the leader, and she's not getting any mental stimulation out of just kind of doing her own thing. She's pretty much just getting physical exercise and, keeping her own brain moving. So doing pressure and release. So when pressure's on, we've taught her that she needs to go into a calmer state of mind. That's the only way pressure releases. You can see we always have a nice loose leash. You never want to close your fist on this leash. You always want it just kind of sitting and resting on the tips of your fingers so that it is just kind of loosely resting and we can have it slide in and out. That's really important. As far as holding it goes, you're going to want to find your kind of your sweet spot. So you can see if I hold it way up here when I release it, what's going to happen when I need to do pressure is look how high up my arm is. And I don't have a lot of control over this leash when it's this long, right? So instead, we want to hold it right about there, not so low. And it's a little bit easier when you have a small dog because you have to bend over to reach her. But not so low that you don't give her any release of this leash. You always want to see this nice U shape in your leash there. It should just be nice and resting. Another good thing to know is your positioning is really important. So you want to make sure that this is resting at the base of her skull, not so much on her trachea. That's not going to help. Dogs don't have any pressure points in their throat. They do have pressure points in their skull though. So that's where we're applying this very light force of pressure to, is to those pressure points. So when we start moving, okay, Lulu, as soon as she gets in front of me right there, you can see just a little bit of pressure has turned on. At that point, that's where you want to relay to her that you don't want her to do that. So you can see she did that all by herself. She felt pressure and she knows, oh, this isn't going to go away until my butt hits the ground, right? So right there, you can see, look how far ahead she is of me. If I were to start moving right now and I said heel and I just let her move, you officially gave her the beginning of the walk. You let her take control. So before we even go anywhere, I'm going to take a step forward. Now, if she had tried to jump up from that position, I would have reapplied pressure. So see if I can get it. There we go. Right, so I didn't tell her to heel. I didn't say okay. I didn't say any of that stuff. So she should know that just because I'm moving doesn't mean, well, there's a nice yawn. That is a power yawn. That means that she's using her brain and it's exhausting. That is a good yawn. We like those. So just doing even things like this, right, just moving around a little bit, is showing her that you're following direction. I need you to only move when I say it's time to move. Okay. Right, so I say okay, or I say heel. So if you really do want to say heel, if you say okay, that means she's in free mode. She doesn't have to stay right next to you. She is strictly in free mode. If you say heel, it means walk with me at my pace. Right? So that's a nice heel. Right there, see where she kind of picked up her pace a little bit? I just gave her a tiny little pop. So your pops are going to be the way to relay to her, pay attention. It's not a full on, you need to go into a calmer state of mind where we're going to turn pressure on and have her go into a calmer state. And then pressure releases. Okay, that's your red light. This is your yellow light. This is just a way for you to kind of remind her, oh, no, slow down a little bit. Right? And it's super light pressure. It's not about force. If you use zero force when you're moving, you're only going to need to use a tiny little bit of force to relay messages to her using this method. Right? So right there, you can see as soon as she picks up her pace and she's kind of like, I'm doing my own thing right there. Right? It's very obvious. So also walking really slow is a lot more difficult for a dog than walking at a normal pace. Look how slow I'm going. She's like immediately like, I gotta get ahead, right? They're so used to going this like quick pace. So if you go like this, you can hear her, she's like kind of whining and like, what are we doing? This is hard, right? She's got to learn to go my pace and follow me. Now left turns are good because what happens is, and this is a little bit trickier with a small dog because you don't want to step on them, of course. Usually I would say, you use your knee to kind of like bump them just a tiny bit to say like, pay attention. But with her, you can't really do that quite as much. You'll just step on her. So what I recommend doing when you do left turns is if you can tell she's not paying attention, she's doing good right there. If you can tell she's like clearly not paying attention, you can give her just a little pop right before you make that turn so that you're giving her a heads up. Hey, look, I'm about to do something, right? Good girl. So that's why left turns are really good. Now, right turns are really good because it's going to help you with your handling skills and it's going to teach you how to use your leash appropriately. Now, if you turn right and she walks straight ahead, most people are going to want to close their fist on this. And what's going to happen is she's going to pull. Now, we've already taught her that solid pressure like that means go into a calmer state of mind. So that's a red light. That means stop moving and calm down. Good girl, honey. If we also teach her that pressure means come to me or move, or you're like pulling her anywhere, you're teaching her to run a red light, and that's not fair. You're going to give her mixed messages with the leash, and that's not going to help anything. So you need to learn how to let your leash just be very loose and only use it as a way to communicate things like that, right? So I made that turn, and she clearly wasn't paying attention. Had I gone like this and pulled her around that turn, that would teach her to run a red light. But instead, what we want to do is right when we realize, good girl, right? So I just have to make a little clicking noise. You can use her name. You can do anything you want. You can use a little pop. Lulu, good girl. There's my lady, right? So doing those kind of things, it's more important to get your dog to follow you than it is to follow a tool. So you're better off using words and using her name. Lulu, good girl. Your whole goal is to get her to follow you, right? It's not about taking a long extended walk. It's about getting your dog to follow you at your pace. So it's not just about walking that straight line. It's about moving in a lot of directions to get your dog to look. Lulu, good girl. Now, luckily, Lulu is also really good off leash. I have had plenty of time to, we've done a lot of potty training, so we have spent a lot of time together outside. So I have tried a lot of different things with her to really get her to be comfortable using the bathroom outside. So I have had her off leash. She really does not go far. She'll wander around a little bit. She'll go and, hang out with my cat maybe for a minute. But if I call her name, she comes right back to me, which is great. She's really glued to people. She loves people. So that's, it's an easy one to get her to just follow. Lulu. Yes, good girl. Right, so I'll demonstrate even just that with you. So I'll show you. Good. Let me show you. You gotta get a bath today, sweet pea. I'll give you a bath. That rain. Right, so we'll let her wander for a second, and then I'm gonna call her Lulu. Yeah, good girl. Good job, Peanut. Alright, so Lulu. So we have the other dogs outside. Lulu, good girl. Come here, good girl. And that's even with the other dogs outside. I have my little Frenchies that I'm working with outside as well. So she hears them. So that's great that she's even staying with me, even though her buddies are here. But yeah, so come here, Lulu. Good girl. Right, Lulu. Good girl. Right, so right there she thought about it. Come on, honey. The good girls are really beneficial for you, for her. She really loves to be told she's a good girl. Lulu. Lulu, good girl. Come on, honey. Yes, good job. Good girl. Right, so these are the kind of things that you want. Yes, I love you too. These are the kind of things that you want to work on with her on a daily basis. Sorry, bear with me. Let me put her back on. Giving her these kind of mental stimulation is going to be really key to her success with all of her, okay, as far as her quote unquote separation anxiety, we'll call it. I wouldn't so much call it a separation anxiety as it is that she's just really glued to her peoples, and it's hard for her to be separate. So working on things like placing with her is going to be really helpful, because it's going to teach her that, Lulu, it's going to teach her that she can still be near you but not have to be right on top of you. And even doing things like just walking around like your bedroom, put her on a bed and just walk around your bedroom, and teach her that she doesn't have to get up and follow you everywhere that you go. Even little things like that are going to teach her to be a little bit more independent and self-sufficient, be able to calm herself down better. So mental stimulation, working on place, that's another great way to give her mental stimulation. You can give her a bone, you can give her a toy, whatever you want, while she's kind of hanging out on the bed. She can do whatever she wants as long as all four paws stay on the object. She is doing place. So I hope that helps. If you have any questions, you know where to reach me. Let me know. If anybody else has issues with their dog or needs help with anything, give us a call today. We would be happy to help you like we are with the little Miss Lulu. Hope everyone has a great day. Say bye, Lulu.